Hey guys, how are you doing? Same as always, I'm going to practice. You probably saw I posted a couple of videos. If you live in Georgia, those are the Georgia Music Educators Association All-State Etudes for Trumpet, Middle School, Symphonic, and Concert Band. If you live in Georgia, enjoy. If you don't live in Georgia, don't watch it. If you guys have any questions, jump on in the chat box and let me know. I'm going to make sure I'm live here. If you're in Texas, the TMEA Etudes are still on there. Oh, that's a great picture. Yes, I'm on. Yeah, let me get the chat box going real quick. Ask any questions in the box. It's the same thing I'm going to practice. Let me know if you have any questions, anybody who comes in. The thing I'm working on now, I'm going to adjust this a little bit. So I've been kind of playing around with the idea of, and I've done this for a while, relaxing the right muscles and engaging the right muscles. So I've had this problem for a long time, and it still creeps up on me sometimes. And I think most trumpet players have this issue. And the problem is it gives you a stifled sound. You don't play as open. You can't play as high. It shuts off your air. And what I'm talking about is overemphasizing the tension in the middle of the lips. And a couple things that I was working on. I have my water here. Thing number one is to get rid of the extra tension, you need to learn to pull apart the muscle groups. So what I mean by that, sometimes I talk about the way boxers punch. You have a tricep that extends the arm and a bicep that pulls the arm back. You have these two muscles and they work against each other. They do two different things. So what boxers have to deal with is when you punch, I guess karate, anything where you're punching, you need to learn to flex the tricep and relax the bicep at the same time to get an effective punch, let's say. And this is something boxers must work on. With too much tension, if you're boxing, you try to extend the arm, the bicep is flexed so much, it stops the tricep from, they fight against each other with too much tension. And the trumpet's the same way. And there's a lot of ways that you fight yourself. You get a drink. So the first thing I talked about were the lips. I'm going to start with the air stream. So thing number one, when you're pushing air through your system, if anything's inhibiting the air, it's going to screw you up. It's going to feel like it takes a lot of effort to play a trumpet, and it really doesn't need to. You want your throat and chest to feel like you're sighing. And the other thing is, with your stomach, if you try to flex your stomach, flex your abs, tighten your stomach as if you're pushing air, I'll just show you. So if I read something, or if I try to talk, you probably don't notice the difference between my stomach being relaxed, or like now, my stomach's tensed. It doesn't really change the way my voice sounds. And the same thing goes when you're playing a trumpet. If you flex your stomach, don't let that affect your throat and your chest. A lot of people who tighten up too much, they stifle themselves in the throat and chest. And a good way to see if you're doing this, to see if you're shutting off your airstream, is do this test. Flex your stomach and try to talk normally. This is the first step to see if when you flex the right muscle, if you're also engaging other unnecessary muscles that are stopping your airflow. And that's one of the main reasons people can't play high or people can't play loud. They're fighting themselves internally. I don't mean like mentally. I mean, that might be a thing, but try tightening your stomach and talking normally. This is how you're supposed to play a trumpet. You push from the bottom, and the rest of this is relaxed and open, okay? So that's the first thing I'm working on. The other thing is with the lips. So you have two different muscle groups, let's say. You have your corners and you have the inside of your lip. You want the inside to be pretty relaxed and the corners to be pretty firm, okay? So do this test. Play a low C. Now this is what you do to see if your corner muscles are affecting what's happening in the middle, because they should be two separate movements, okay? I want you to get me on this, because, hi, let me just say hello. This is important, so pay attention. If when you engage your corners and you're going higher, if when you engage your corners, you flex the inside along with it, all that tension is going to stop the airflow and it's going to cut off your air. Check it out. You stop the airflow with your lips, and your lips can do it. There's nobody who can push hard enough that won't affect, overdoing this inside lip muscle is just going to screw up your playing. Shuts off your upper register, gets your tone is stifled. It's awful. So an exercise that I like to do is start with a low C, play it normally, and then while you're playing it, flex your corners as hard as you can. And do it gradually. And if you do it right, it shouldn't affect your sound. Your sound, if you're not changing your lips, if you're just flexing your corners, it shouldn't mess with your sound. See how the corners are flexed? And the sound, it moved a little bit, but you work on it. So you keep this inside loose and the corners nice and firm, okay? Now I bring that up because the exercises I'm working here with the flexibility studies, the two main things I'm focusing on are strong corners, a loose inside, and strong stomach muscles. Now the reason this is important, I'll give you another analogy. Try putting your hands together like you're going to pray. Clasp your hands together, and then take your pointer fingers and hold them up like this. And if you do it for a little while, let me show you the camera so you see it. If you do this and you stare at your fingers slowly start to come together, and it takes effort to pull them apart. This is the way that I try to make trumpet playing work. Your corners are clasping your hands together, okay? And then for the inside of my lips, when I play, the way it feels, when I'm playing that, my corners are clasping together, and what it does is it keeps the inside of my lips stabilized. In fact, so again, if you fold your hands together and you put your pointer fingers up, see how your pointer fingers sort of are drawn to each other and it takes effort to pull them apart? That's the way my lips work when I play like this. My corners are firm, and while I'm playing, as I'm going up the register, I'm not pushing my lips together, I'm holding my lips apart, because with your corners engaged, the inside of your lips are drawn to each other, just like your fingers were drawn to each other. So as your lips are drawn to each other, I'm not engaging more effort to pinch my lips together. The effort I'm using is just to hold my lips apart, and that's way less muscle that you have to use in the middle. It's way more efficient. You're not going to wear out nearly as quick. You're going to have a more open sound because your lips are loose enough to vibrate. It's the best way that I know how to play. Any questions about that? Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to practice for a little while. practicing this, sometimes I'll overdo the corners just to show myself, again, which muscle to engage and which muscle to relax, and to exercise the muscle that I'm trying to use most. And I'll do this with the stomach muscles too, to specifically use pushing muscles to to work on those muscles. And there's a couple ways I like to work on the pushing muscles. Since I got to play tomorrow, I'm not going to do too much because I want to stay fresh for tomorrow. But anything where you're pushing and you're engaging your stomach, you're going to be in good shape. Number one is just playing in the low register and playing until your air is completely gone. And if you get a good stomach workout, you know you're doing it right. So the goal is to get rid of your air as fast as you can. After your note stops, keep pushing until your stomach shakes. So I push all the way through till all the air is gone, and then I'll push a little bit farther. When your stomach starts shaking, you're pushing like to the max, and those are the muscles that you use when you're playing in the upper register. Kind of a similar exercise, but using this on the high notes. I'll play, octave jumps. Or 2 octave jumps. And keeping all the same principles in place, I'm still trying to play with the corners and not the middle. Still trying to keep the throat and chest relaxed, even though I'm pushing from the bottom. And so that's about as high as I normally play. About a G sharp or so. But again, that comes from firm corners, loose middle, and using your stomach, relaxing everything in between. You'll see I'm puffing out the cheeks a little bit here on the sides. Again, the deal here is I'm trying to use just enough muscle to do the job that I want and keep the rest relaxed. So as I'm pushing, I'm using my corners, I'm keeping this relaxed. I'm not doing a lot out here, so I don't care if I look. I can do higher. Thanks, Cody. Thanks a lot. I don't think I can. Anyway, so with the exercise I'm doing, it's more about the form at this point. thing is too, I don't really care. I don't care as much what note I get to. I'm trying to work the stomach muscles, right? I'm trying to go from like very little stomach pressure to like maximum stomach pressure as quick as I can. I don't really care what note it goes up to. I kind of have an idea of where I'm going, but I don't care what note comes out. And so, and this is difficult for, high schoolers to kind of understand because they're very results driven. I don't care. I care about the long-term result from doing it with good form. I don't care about what I do right here, right now. Does that make sense? Because I'll goof up and play wrong notes, and that's not the point. I don't care. Anyway. So there was a different, anyway. Next exercise. The other thing I try to do, because I look back and I kind of archive these videos to watch my practicing, I try to make it look like I'm not moving a whole lot on the face, or as little as I can. Any of you guys have questions out there? Or are you just enjoying the video? I'm so glad to hear it. Cheeks. Let's see. Yeah. Alright. Next. Alright. Again, if I feel like I'm tensing up in the middle here, I'll just play a long tone. And I'll teach myself, as I'm playing the long tone, I'll tighten the corners without changing the sound. As best as I can. The same way that you try to tighten your stomach and talk. Because you got to separate these muscles a little bit. That time the G got a little fuzzy. There's just a little bit too much tension in the middle. Next thing I'm going to practice, I'm going to go through these are the stamp warm-up exercises, and they're just great. Now, what the heck was I doing? There's an etude that I'm working on. Actually, I haven't worked on it very much. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. Keep screwing up when I play it. But while I'm here, you can watch what I do to work on songs. The big problem I have here is with breathing. So I talked a little bit the other day about playing efficiently and playing as long as you can in one breath. I'm going to try a little bit of that here. Jeepers. always gets me. Do I play any other instruments? Yes. I play some piano. I play... Well, actually, not really. No. To be honest, not really. But I did just buy a trombone. And so I'll get the trombone out real quick. Since you asked, the answer is basically no. But I did just buy a trombone. So check this out. So a trombone is a lot like a trumpet, except an octave lower. And I bought this on eBay for just a couple, no, it was like $100, $120. Oh, mouthpiece. So this is just like a trumpet, kind of. Let me show you. So the thing's called Go Play a Trumpet, so I don't really... How did I do that? It was something... I forget how they hold this thing. But anyway, so I got this trombone, right? Now I'm a terrible... I don't play the trombone at all. But it's fun to screw around with. I can figure out how they do those sounds that they always do. You know when you sound like a race car taking off? Because I know the basic idea of a trombone, but so I can figure it out. So I can do some things. Oh, thanks. Yeah. But that sounded pretty good, big size. I never really. I got the trombone 2 or 3 days ago, but it plays a lot like a trumpet. So if you understand how a trombone works, we have this slide, right? So with your trumpet, now obviously this is a C instrument and the trumpet's a B flat instrument, but when did you learn? Well, I learned trumpet back in 5th grade. So I've been playing for a very, very long time. I'm old. If you knew how old I was, you wouldn't be so impressed. You'd think, well, of course, anybody that's been playing the trumpet that long must be good at it. And that's all it is. And honestly, the real secret to success, like if you really want to be good at something, if you really want to be good at anything, this is how you do it. This is the big secret. All you need to do is start doing something and then keep doing it until you're old. And that's all I did. I started playing trumpet probably the summer between 4th and 5th grade. And that was like, 20 years ago. So all I did was I started playing a trumpet, and I kept playing a trumpet until I was really old, like now. I'm 31. And so, yeah, if you do something long enough, you're going to get really good at it. Like that's the secret. But you got to start doing something. So you understand, and this is a thing that people don't like to admit. Or they don't, it's not that, people don't like being bad at something. And this is a thing that holds a lot of people back. Nobody ever wants to start from the beginning. And me, myself included. I don't want to be a bad trombone player. Why would I get a trombone? I don't know how to play a trombone. Why would I want to take piano lessons? You'd have to start by being a bad piano player. If you want to be good at trumpet, you got to start by being a bad trumpet player. Whatever you want to be good at, you got to start by being bad at it. Nobody's born being good at anything. The real secret, start doing something, anything you want to do, anything that you want to be good at, start doing it now, and then keep doing it every single day until you're old. And then you'll be good at it. The big thing with trumpet players, a lot of the people that I teach complain about jazz improv. Mr. Luch, I can't I can't improvise. I'm just not a good improviser. I'm never going to learn how to improvise. I can't improvise. I can't do it. Sure you can. You can do it, you're just bad at it. And if you want to be good at it, start doing it now and keep doing it until you're old. You always have to start by being bad at something. And sometimes to remind myself of that, I'll pick up things that I know are going to be difficult. I know they're going to be a struggle. Like the trombone is horrible for me. I can't play trombone at all. But I like to remind myself that you got to start by being bad at something. And so for those of you tuning in just now, again, if you want to be good at it, if you want to be good at anything, this is how you do it. Now, you can sort of tweak this along the way. There are additional things that can sort of speed up your process. Trumpet's the best. All right, I'm going to put this thing away for a second. Oh, it's backwards. There we go. All right, trumpet. Put this thing back. Love it when life coach. Oh, thanks. I've been trying to play high notes on the trumpet since middle school. The only reason I have any level of success is because I kept trying, and now I'm old. And I'll tell you, the funny thing about the trumpet is sometimes the harder you try at it, the worse you get at it. So if you go back to the beginning of this video, what we were talking about, you have certain muscle groups that when combined, they fight against each other. And that's the biggest thing that I learned with playing the trumpet more efficiently, playing the trumpet higher in the upper register, playing with better endurance. You got to separate the muscle groups. There are certain muscles that you have to use 100%, and there are certain muscles that you just have to relax or you're fighting against yourself. And so, examples of this: use your corners, don't use the middle too much. Yes, I teach trumpet. I do. I'll even, just for quick, yeah, I'm a teacher. I play on the side. I play with a group. I've played for a long time. Teaching trumpet seems to pay the bills better than playing the trumpet where I'm at. Plus the schedule's way better. I got 4 little kids, and you know, having a day schedule teaching is a little bit nicer than having a night schedule playing. But oh well. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any other questions. I'm going to. So this song, I need to work on my phrasing a little bit. Is my dream to play in a big band like for an NFL team? No, not really. My dream? I don't know. I don't really dream. This might seem weird, but I don't have any high goals of playing the trumpet. I don't really think about it. Like, all I really want to do is whatever I can fit into my schedule right now. So if I were to play in a big symphony, that'd be nice. That'd be fine. To play in a big band, to play, I don't know. I never really thought about it. I just sort of do whatever I can do now. So there's a jazz band I play with locally. I teach 50, 60 kids a week. One-on-one trumpet lessons. I teach classes. I guess I don't know, maybe that's disappointing, because I'd love to be able to say, oh yeah, I would just, my future goal, all this, everything I'm practicing is so that I can go play at Carnegie Hall with Wynton Marsalis in his big band. But really, I don't know, my highest aspiration is, I'm a dad and I have 4 kids. I'm probably going to have more kids. My highest aspiration is to get enough money from teaching lessons to buy more land so I can teach my kids how to raise chickens and goats and animals. And playing the trumpet is just something fun that I like to do. I like to perform. I like to teach. I don't really think about it too much. I don't know. I know I'm good at it. I don't know. That's a good question, though. Are you a trumpet player also? groups that I have are working on improvisation. I'm going to pull up the changes to the jazz tune So What and do a little bit of improv on that. Let me see. And I'm going to kind of talk it through a little bit. Since a lot of you guys have trouble improvising, I'm going to talk through some of the things that I think are important when you're improvising, jazz. You know what I'm saying? Jazz improvisation. So let me bust that out real quick. You should be able to hear this just fine. Well, let's see. Can't hear anything now. There we go. Let me turn it up just a little bit. Okay, so the only thing, you can hear the background. I'm just hoping that when I play it doesn't drown it out too much. Let me try to move this. I'll check the volume levels in just a little bit. trying to get that lick down. So that's just 5 notes that I'm playing. I'm playing the chord tones, E, G, B, D, but with the 4 in there. It gives it just kind of an interesting pentatonic sound. I'm going to go back and listen to some of it because, well, quite frankly, I want to check the volume levels. Oops. I'm playing it's just kind of an interesting. Oh, that sounds terrible. All right, let's go back to the top. uninspired. Alright, that's about enough. Just hits a certain point where the creativity just sort of dies. I gotta change the pace. I can only play the same ideas. You know, when you throw along a play-along track and you sort of, you know, you run through the chord tones, you run through the scale tones, you run through the, you know, different sounds that you're trying to create. I don't know, it hits a certain point where, you know, I can't, it's like when you're talking. You're having a conversation and maybe you've had this when you're talking to somebody. You're having a conversation and there's just kind of this weird silence because you can't think of anything else to say. Improv is kind of the same way. So at the same time that I'm playing, I'm trying to think of other things to play. And after I play enough, I can't think of anything else to play. And then it just starts to sound terrible. And so whenever that happens, I like to do the same thing. Stop and do something different. So I worked a couple days ago I was working on finger speed. And I like working on this anyway when my lips start to get tired. But I was playing, I don't even think I can do it. I screwed it up. So, Flight of the Bumblebee, I talked about fast playing, and so this next part, I want to work on some of my speed protocol, I guess you'd call it. If you check out some of the other videos, I talk about hammering the valves down hard to develop speed. Screwed it up. Starting to get tired. So this next part, I want to work on, quiet you. Alright, I'm back. I just gotta look at the volume levels. Wait a minute. The NFL doesn't have a band, do they? That's not real, is it? No. There's no NFL band. NFL teams don't have bands. NFL team band. That's not real. Category NFL marching bands. Which NFL team has a marching band? The Ravens? Marching bands. No, I would hate that. I don't like marching when I play. That doesn't sound fun. Okay, anyway. Whatever. So for playing fast, I usually go over scale patterns and I hit the valves down really hard. How much battery? I have a little battery. So take something like a Clark study. My goal is to hear my valves louder than my sound. Alright, I gotta do a little warm down. Alright, that's probably going to do it for me. Thank you guys for watching. It's nice you guys to hang around while I'm practicing. Like I said, if you guys ever have any questions, feel free to comment in the box. What else was I going to do? Now I forget. Alright, thanks again. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for watching. I know it doesn't really... Oh, whatever. I'll catch you guys later. I'll talk to you later. Bye.